HSEMINDSETmm channels, weekly live programs, Thursday and Friday. So today 3 p.m. we are starting with this understanding the safety documents. So every safety professionals they need to know the different technical terms, because when you know the technical terms, then only you can perform, you can implement, you can choose the choices according to the different types of technical names are there in the safety. Being a safety officer, you must use the technical terms. That is important. When you are using the technical terms, then only you can improve your safety standards and you know what is what. For what purpose you have to use what kind of standard, what kind of practices. That is important. When you are using the correct standard and correct, requirement, that only speaks you how much you have a knowledge, how you are implementing the safety standards. That is important. Without knowing the technicality of the safety documents, you are not able to perform well being a safety professional. So it's a must to know the what kind of safety documents you are using, and then how you are performing in the ground. That is important. Here we are seeing the understanding of the safety documents. What are the safety documents are there? How you can understand the safety documents. Number one, JSA. JSA. It means Job Safety Analysis. JSA is a Job Safety Analysis. It's what is the purpose of the Job Safety Analysis? It means JSA. Purpose is to identify the hazards in the jobs. Job, we can say task, job task. So you have to identify the hazards in job task is the main criteria for the job safety analysis. So in this analysis, you have to find out the hazards in that job task. Then, so making the task into steps, making the task into steps. How you are going to make? For example, welding. Welding is a job. In that welding, you have to have a welding material. Then you have to start the process. So you have to divide into tasks. Number one, bring the compressor cylinders trolley and setting the welding equipment. It means so whether it's a gas cutting or welding, you have to make it into steps. In this welding, there is a welding machine is there. Sometimes gas cutting is there. But in that welding machine, you have to bring the welding machine first. You have to wear the PPEs. Sorry. You have to wear the PPEs, personal protective equipments. Then you have to use the welding rods. Then bringing the welding machine is a one step. Wearing the gloves, all PPEs is second steps. Third step, you have to take the material and use the face shield, welding shield. So third process is binding the metal. So these are the different steps for welding process. For that each steps you must finding the hazards. When you are finding the hazards in each and every step, that is called the job safety analysis. JSA. The same thing for each and every job process. For example, painting. You have to, in a painting job, you have to divide into steps. In each step, you have to find out the hazards. So that is the JSA. So hazards, risk control measures, and a responsible person. You have to mention who is responsible person in the job safety analysis itself. In the job safety analysis itself, you have to find the hazard, risk, and control measures, and who is responsible for that. For example, for welding means welder, gas cutting means gas cutter, then painting means painter is responsible for this task. In the task, for a welding purpose, okay, when bringing the welding machine to the site is a task. In the task, what will be the hazard? The welding machine itself a hazard. It has a stored energy. Stored energy. In that stored energy itself as a hazard. And then when a person standing and taking the material and working the metal to bind welding. In that case, what will be the hazard? Sparks, fire. What we say? Some sparks will come from the welding rod. So that spark is a hazard. The same thing, you have to find out the hazards, risks, control measures, responsible person. These all must be there in the JSA, job safety analysis. So that every safety officer or professional, you must know it, what is JSA, how to conduct the job safety analysis. When you are conducting the job safety analysis, you have to make it each and every job into tasks. Step by step tasks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the tasks, you have to identify the hazards, risks, and control measures, and responsible person for that hazards. That is what we are talking about, the job safety analysis. Okay. Then second one is JHA. JHA. What is JHA? Job hazard analysis. This is JSA. Job safety analysis. This is job hazard analysis. In this job hazard analysis, assessing the job hazards, that is the dividing the jobs into steps and identifying the hazards and risks. Here the assessing the job and identifying the hazards and risks. So then you have to have it talks about this job hazard analysis talks about the environmental and creatures. Environmental and creatures, then environmental risks and analysis. Here the job safety analysis talks about the more health and safety point of view. But when it's come to the job hazard analysis, it talks more about the environmental risks and environmental analysis. That's what it differs. Job hazard analysis. Okay, then third one is SWP. SWP. Okay. In this SWP, safe work procedures. It means safe work procedures. These technical terms, you can find it in the site. Wherever the HSE professional things are there, you can find out these kind of technical terms. Being a growing safety professional or safety officers, you must know these technical terms to implement correctly in the site. That's what it is very important. We have seen JSA, then JHA, now SWP. It means safe work procedure. So in that safe work procedure, standard safe work instruction are there. Standard safe work instruction is there for all kinds of industries, not only construction, not only oil and gas, manufacturing. Wherever the safety is there, the safe work instruction is always there. So in that safe work instructions, you can make the standard safe work instruction clear step-by-step guide. Clear step-by-step guide. Okay, somebody is working in the forklift. You have to make a SWP. It means safe work procedure. So you have to give step-by-step instruction for forklift operators. So what you can start? Okay, before starting the forklift, you have to make sure proper maintenance carried out and there is no any abnormalities or materials or anyone found around that area. So that is the first step. You have to make a safe work instructions. So step by step. So that is the important. And also in this safe work procedures, you have to recommend the PPEs. That is personal protective equipments. You can, for example, those who are working in the forklift, they must have a gloves sometimes and helmet, then safety boot, coverall. They must have a overall coverall. So these PPEs requirements also there for this kind of safe work procedures. So used for task with the health and safety risk. So used for the task with the health and safety risk also, you can mix with this for safe work procedures. What is meant by SWP? You have any risk jobs involved in your site, you have to make a safe work procedures. In the safe work procedure, you can train the operator, you can train the laborers, helper, or the working professionals. So when you train that, you can use the safe work procedures. So that's what SWP meant for. Okay. Then we have a SWMPS. SWMPS. What it means? SWMS. Sorry. It means safe work method statement. You have to see here safe work procedures. SWP. Here safe work method statement. The method statement is different from the safe work procedures. So this safe work procedures totally different from the safe work method statements. So what it says about the high risk work safety. So it talks about the high risk work safety. So this is a normal work procedure, safe work procedure. But what about this one? SWMS. It means a safe work method statement. So, safe work method statement, it talks about the high risk work and plant and equipment. Plant and high risk work in plant and equipment. That is the main thing. Here it's overall safe work. Here, plant and equipment, the fourth is a high risk. Then crane, then bulldozer. So these are high risk jobs. For that high risk plant and equipment, you have to make a safe work procedures, that is called method of statement. Okay, so in this participant is important. Crane operator, participant important. Forklift operator, participant important. Driver is a participant important. So these all the things you must know it for SWMS. That is the third one. Okay. Then SOP. Next one is SOP. These are safety, understanding the safety documents. When you are in the site, when you are in construction, oil and gas site, or any kind of manufacturing industry, you must have these kind of documents needs to be followed. So when you are following these kind of documents, you must know the technicality of these documents. So what we discussed, JSA, JHA, SWP, then SWMS method statement. Then we have a SOP, standard operating procedures. This all comes for the machineries. This standard operating procedures, it talks about the focus on plant and machineries. Plant and machineries, it's a operation, it's mostly based on the operations, and JSA also included for this. This SOP, JSA also included in this. So this SOP is a standard operating procedure. In this procedure, focus on plant and machinery. As I said, the oil and gas means so many plants are there, machines are there. Or manufacturing means many machineries are there, plants are there. So plant means what we can say, plant 1, plant 2, plant 3, as like a machinery process. The process of plant is called the plant 1, plant 2, plant 3. The same thing. So the SOP is mainly talks about the plants and the machineries, equipments. So here it talks about the equipment operation and safe handling and based on the JSA. So what about SOP? Standard operating procedure, focus on plant and machineries and operation of equipments and machineries. So that's what this SOP. There are so many machineries are there, equipments are there in any manufacturing oil gas industry. So you must have a standard operating procedure for each and every machine. For example, there is a lab is there, spectrophotometer is there. So there will be a SOP for spectrophotometer, means a standard operating procedure for spectrophotometer. Same like pH meter is there, means SOP for pH meter. It means a standard operating procedure for pH meter. Then nephrometer. Then you have a lot of technical equipments and machineries are there. Each and every technical and mechanical machines needs this SOPs, that is standard operating procedures. Okay. Next one is RAMS. RAMS. RAMS means risk assessment method statement. Sixth one is RAMS. RAMS. It means risk assessments method statements. This is also one of the vital thing. When you have a proper RAMS, it means risk assessment method statements detailed about the safety guide, step by step risk assessment, safe work assessments. Participants also involved in this. So this RAMS talks about the risk assessments method statement, detailed safety guide. This is RAMS is a detailed safety guide by step safe assessments, safe work assessments, and participants also involved. So this is step-by-step guide of safe work assessments. Safe work assessments means risk assessments. Okay, so in this RAMS is very important. RAMS, we can call it as a RAMS. In this RAMS talks about the risk assessments. So risk assessment method statement detailed step-by-step guide to make a safe work assessments, and participants also involved in this RAMS. So this is what 6 safety documents. You must know it. There are a lot of documents available, but these are the major documents. You must know it when you are working. These kind of the safety documents, you definitely well versed in safety standards, well versed in safety culture. You for your career growth, for your upliftment, definitely these kind of technical terms must be known. When you know these kind of technical terms, definitely you can work better than anyone else in the site. And also you can easily communicate higher professionals. When you communicate these kind of words, everyone knows that you know the safety. When you are vaguely telling something, nobody believe it. When using the technical terms, everyone believe you are a safety professional. So that's why those who are growing as a safety officer or those who are new safety officer, you must know these kind of words. How these technical terms, what is the purpose of these technical terms, how we can use this one. These are all the things you must know it. Here what we have seen, JSA, job safety analysis, JHA, job hazard analysis, then SMP, it means safe work procedures, then here SWP means safe work procedure. Here SWMS means safe work method statement. Then you have SOP means standard operating procedures. RAMS means risk assessment method statement. So these are the technical terms. You must know it. You must know the differences of these different technical terms. These are technical terms. These technical terms, each and every safety professional must know it when you are working in the site. For example, the job safety analysis is different from the risk assessment. The job safety analysis talks about the hazard risk control measures in a job task, step by step job tasks. You have to divide the jobs into tasks. After dividing the jobs into tasks, each task you have to find out the hazard, risk, control measures, and the responsible person. That you must know it in the job safety analysis. For example, a painter painting. So you have to divide it into tasks. You have to divide it into tasks. First, he has to mix the paint. Step 1. Then arrange for the painting is step 2. Then third one, So painting. So the three steps we have seen: arranging for painting, mixing the painting, arranging for the painting, then painting work, then last closing the painting work. There are 4 tasks. In this each task, you have to identify the hazards, risks, control measures, and the responsible person. So when you find out each task, these all things, then only it's a job safety analysis. That's what we are talking about, JSA, job safety analysis. Then what about JHA, job hazard analysis? That's what we have seen. It talks about environmental risks and the environmental risk control. More about the environmental risk and controls and the creatures. All kind of biological creatures we are talking about this job hazard analysis. Then the SWP means safe working procedures for any industries. There must be a safe work procedures, either construction, oil and gas, manufacturing. If a person working at height, you have to have a safe work procedure for working at height. That must be there. That is called the SWP. Then SWMS means safe work method statements. It's talks about the high risk work. High risk work means there are a lot of high risk. Radiation is high risk work, and then crane work is a high risk work. So these chemical handling is a high risk work. So these kind of high risk work, there should be a method of statement. So you have to have a permit to work system. Then how you can start, how you end, what are the hazard involves, what will be who is the responsible person, and what are the control measures. Everything must be elaborated. In that case, it's called the safe work method statement. Then you have a SOP. SOP means standard operating procedures. In this standard operating procedure, focus on plant and machineries. Plant and machineries means each and every organization, company's plant 1. There is a raw material plant 1. Then processing plant 2. Then end product plant 3. So plant and machineries, how it's operating, and then on what basis the safe working method. So that's why standard operating procedures must be there for the crane, forklift, or any heavy vehicles, or heavy machineries, or grinding material, for welding, gas cutting. These are high risk job. In that high risk job, you must have a standard operating procedure. That procedure must be held in front of the work area. They have to keep that. Okay, first start, then do this one, then second, then switch on, start A button, start B button, start C button, and then run. So like this kind of SOP means standard operating procedure for high risk plant and machineries. Okay, next one is ROMS, risk assessment method statement. It's a risk assessment method statement talks about the detailed safe guide by step-by-step work. The participants also involved. So detailed risk assessment, step-by-step guide. How you can do how the person did the risk assessment step by step for a plant or machinery or a overall organization or company. So in that case, you must have a ROMS, risk assessment method statement, detailed safety guide, step by step safe work assessments. Participants, here the participants also involved. For example, crane operators involved, forklift operator involved, Then the risk assessments is step by step in a safe work how you can do, what will be the risk, what will be the control measures. After that, what will be the after control, what will be the risk level. These all the things are there in this ROMS, risk assessment method statement for each and every work. So that is ROMS. So these are the overall safety documents, technical terms. There are a lot of documents are there, but these are the major documents. You must know it's when you are working in the construction site, oil and gas site, manufacturing site, it's not a matter. But these are the technical terms. You must know it. Being a safety professional, these are the technical safety documents you have to maintain in the site. That documents, you must know it, what is what. That's what we have a training about this. So that is the end of today's training. So tomorrow 3 p.m. we have another training, HSE ladder, HSE carrier ladder. How the HSE carrier starts and how it goes, how the maximum growth goes, like that. The HSE ladder 3 p.m. tomorrow. So that is the end of our training. If you have any doubts, ask me. Definitely I will try to the answer for that questions. You have any comments, make me some comments also, so that I will understand what you understood, and also I will try to answer for the comment. Sorry. So that is what we are talking about, the safety documents. Understanding the safety documents, these are the technical terms. If you want more information, go to our channels, playlist and videos. There are a lot of HSE documents, HSE informations are available in our channel, HSE MindsetMM channel. So you go it, when you see the video and the shorts, there are a lot of information about these technical documents, and you can go through it and get the more information in that. You have a doubt, just comment me, I'll try to answer that. And when you visit our YouTube channel, HSE MindsetMM, you can get a lot of information about HSE. This is HSE exclusive channel. Definitely you can visit and get it. Then still you didn't subscribe it, subscribe, share it, like it. Definitely this is a wholesome HSE package. Definitely you will get more information in this HSE channel. So support this one, encourage it, and refer to your friends also. Share it, like it, and subscribe, and make for more growth. Definitely we can together develop, and you can get a good HSE world in this. Thanks for participation. Thank you very much.